The way these statues are set up, like if you had an 18-year-old kid, he smoked marijuana, he got locked up for smoking marijuana and got 7 years of probation, and then 7 years later he had an opioid addiction, got addicted to Percocets.
In a shocking turn of events, rapper Meek Mill has broken his silence and exposed the darker side of Sean Diddy Combs' empire. Known for his music and activism, Meek has long been aware of the allegations surrounding Diddy, but remained silent for years. However, with a growing wave of lawsuits and testimonies against the mogul, Meek has now come forward to share his experiences and concerns about Diddy's alleged abusive practices in the music industry. From manipulation and coercion to psychological and emotional abuse, Meek's revelations paint a chilling picture of the lengths some in the industry will go to maintain control. As the situation continues to unfold, the question remains: will Diddy finally face accountability? The Meek Mill bombshell. A dark chapter. Meek Mill, a prominent figure in the hip-hop community, has recently spoken out, pulling back the curtain on a personal chapter that has long been shrouded in silence. In his statement, Mill dropped a bombshell that connected his name to the ongoing chaos surrounding Diddy. His words, though not explicitly naming individuals, hinted at betrayal, manipulation, and deep wounds. The revelations about Meek Mill have added fuel to an already burning fire of speculation about Diddy's actions behind the scenes. Meek Mill's involvement has been controversial, not just because of his association with Diddy, but due to the nature of the allegations themselves. Though he didn't directly accuse Diddy of wrongdoing, Mill made it clear that something was amiss, raising more questions than answers about what transpired in the world of one of the most influential figures in entertainment. This revelation comes at a time when the public's curiosity is piqued, with growing speculation about Diddy's personal life and the events that may have taken place behind the scenes. The connection between Meek Mill and Diddy, two giants in the hip-hop world, has only fueled the rumors. While Mill has been careful with his words, his decision to speak up signals that the truth about Diddy's behavior may be more complex than anyone originally thought. The lawsuit against Diddy. Little Rod's claims. The legal case that has placed Diddy in the spotlight is not just about vague allegations or hearsay. Little Rod, a former producer who worked with Diddy on several projects, has filed a lawsuit against him, accusing the mogul of serious misconduct. According to Little Rod, during a work-related event, he was handed a drink, one of the famous concoctions that Diddy is known to enjoy, and shortly afterward, found himself in a disoriented state. The lawsuit details that Little Rod woke up the following morning with a sense that something had happened to him during the night. While the producer refrains from explicitly detailing what he believes took place, his language and the lawsuit's tone strongly suggest that he was the victim of an assault of some kind. The nature of the drink and the subsequent events have only raised further concerns about the culture surrounding Diddy's world, one that seems to blur the lines between business and personal misconduct. What makes Little Rod's case particularly troubling is the nature of his allegations. The lawsuit is not just about a single night of inappropriate behavior, but rather speaks to a wider environment of coercion, manipulation, and exploitation that Diddy allegedly fostered within his circle. Little Rod's claims echo similar complaints from other individuals who have found themselves caught in Diddy's world, where power dynamics and blurred boundaries may have led to a toxic environment for those working under him. The Meek Mill and Diddy relationship. What really happened? In the midst of these bombshell allegations, another layer of complexity is added by Meek Mill's own statements. As a prominent artist signed under Diddy's label, Mill's relationship with Diddy has been one of mutual respect, but also suspicion. Despite their public camaraderie, Mill has hinted at an underlying tension that may have come to a head during their time working together. The rapper's decision to speak out has added a new dimension to the allegations, raising questions about what might have transpired during their professional relationship. One of the more shocking elements of Mill's revelations is his admission that he has suspicions about the true nature of Diddy's personal life. Specifically, Mill has suggested that Diddy may have been involved in relationships with men, even alluding to the idea that Diddy may have been secretly homosexual. This is a deeply personal accusation, one that many people in the industry would likely prefer to remain private. However, for Mill, the silence around Diddy's behavior has only fueled the rumors. In an era where societal norms have evolved, with greater acceptance of diverse sexual orientations, Mill's comments about Diddy coming out of the closet are not meant to shame the mogul, but rather to call attention to a possible double life. Mill's tone, however, suggests frustration, not just with Diddy's alleged actions, but with the culture of secrecy and manipulation that surrounds powerful figures in the entertainment industry. For Mill, the idea of Diddy living a hidden life behind a facade of heterosexuality is symptomatic of a broader issue in Hollywood, where many are forced to hide parts of themselves to maintain their public personas. Public scrutiny. The internet reacts. As these revelations surface, the internet has erupted in a frenzy of speculation. Online forums, social media platforms, and independent amateur detectives have taken it upon themselves to connect the dots between the allegations, trying to piece together the truth behind Diddy's private life. The internet has become a double-edged sword for Diddy, amplifying both support and criticism in equal measure. For every person who defends him, there is another who believes that the truth is far darker than what Diddy has let on. In the wake of Meek Mill's comments, many have taken to social media to analyze every word, every gesture, every interaction between Mill and Diddy, searching for signs of something more than friendship or professional respect. These discussions range from the rationale to the speculative, but they all serve to highlight the mounting pressure Diddy faces as these issues unfold in the public eye. The internet's reaction is also indicative of a broader shift in public opinion about celebrity culture. In years past, fans would likely have been content to remain unaware of the details of their idols' personal lives. However, in the age of social media and constant online access, the lines between private and public lives are becoming increasingly blurred. The entertainment industry has found itself under intense scrutiny, with allegations of misconduct being exposed more frequently than ever before. Meek Mill's defiant stand against accusations. In the storm of controversy swirling around him, Meek Mill has made it clear that he is not about to remain silent. With accusations flying about his involvement in certain unsavory activities, Meek is determined to defend his name. This isn't just a simple dispute. This is war on his character, and he's not afraid to face it head-on. Meek, known for his unrelenting nature both in his music and his personal life, is prepared to call out those he believes are trying to smear him. The narrative surrounding Meek's involvement in this legal and public dispute is layered, and it is more than just a matter of accusations. It's about reclaiming his dignity in an industry where loyalty and betrayal seem to go hand in hand. Meek has always prided himself on his authenticity, and he refuses to let anyone tarnish his reputation without a fight. As the rumors continue to circulate, he is confronting those who are attempting to damage his public image. In his mind, this is not merely drama or tabloid fodder. It is a deliberate and calculated attempt to destroy his reputation. Meek Mill is adamant that these accusations aren't just baseless gossip. They are part of a larger scheme to undermine his career and character. Allegations from the past, a tangle of rumors and accusations. At the heart of the recent uproar is a troubling lawsuit filed by Little Rod, a well-known producer who worked closely with Diddy. In the suit, Little Rod made several shocking claims, one of which involves allegations of sexual misconduct and coercion. According to the lawsuit, Meek Mill was also dragged into this web of accusations, with some even suggesting that he had a sexual relationship with Diddy. The idea of Meek being linked to Diddy in such a manner was a hard pill to swallow for many fans and those who knew him well. Meek has been vocal about his stance on the matter, repeatedly denying any such involvement. But despite Meek's denials, the stories continued to circulate, and the public was left questioning the nature of the relationships between these celebrities. Were the accusations simply the result of a smear campaign? Or was there more to the story than what was being told in the media? Meek Mill's frustration is palpable as he confronts these questions head-on, determined to clear his name. In his response, Meek criticized how the media and the public tend to sensationalize such claims, reducing complex issues to mere gossip. His refusal to accept such easy narratives reflects a broader sense of disillusionment with the way celebrity culture often deals with scandals and rumors. Meek's reaction to the allegations wasn't just about protecting his own reputation. It was also about confronting an industry that he feels thrives on drama and scandal at the expense of truth. Behind the scenes, tapes, and surveillance. One of the most disturbing aspects of the allegations that has come to light is the claim that Diddy, a powerful figure in the music industry, had every room in his home bugged and monitored. According to the lawsuit filed by Little Rod, investigators allegedly discovered tiny microphones, cameras, and other surveillance equipment hidden throughout Diddy's properties. This revelation paints a troubling picture of a man obsessed with control, using surveillance to maintain power over those around him. The idea that Diddy might have been recording everything, including personal and private moments, raises unsettling questions about privacy and trust. Celebrities, particularly those who frequent the lavish parties thrown by figures like Diddy, are now left wondering whether they were filmed without their knowledge. The fear is real. Many of these stars worry about the potential consequences if footage of their activities ever leaks to the public. If the tapes exist, what would they reveal? And who would have access to them? Meek Mill, who has been known to frequent such parties, now finds himself caught in a web of suspicion. The thought of being watched and of his every move being recorded is enough to make anyone uneasy. The very nature of the allegations, coupled with the idea of surveillance, is a reminder of how power, especially in the hands of someone as influential as Diddy, can be used to manipulate and control. The web of power, celebrities, politicians, and preachers. The revelations don't stop at celebrities. According to the lawsuit, the surveillance network allegedly involved not just musicians and actors, but also politicians and even preachers. The idea that individuals from such diverse and influential walks of life could be involved in this web of secrecy only adds to the scale of the situation. Diddy, a man with unparalleled influence in the music industry, may have been using his power to control a wide range of people, from the most famous faces in Hollywood to those in positions of political power. The inclusion of politicians and preachers in this narrative adds another layer of intrigue. These are individuals who, in many ways, are expected to uphold moral standards, yet they too are allegedly part of a system of manipulation. The mere suggestion that these people could be involved in something so nefarious raises serious ethical questions about power, corruption, and the lengths people will go to protect their secrets. For Meek Mill, this revelation deepens his distrust of the entire system. He's not just fighting to clear his name, he's fighting against a culture of corruption that has seeped into every corner of the industry. The idea that such high-profile figures might be involved in these activities is a reminder of just how deep the problem runs. Meek Mill's denials, a public backlash. Amidst the swirling rumors, Meek Mill has consistently denied the allegations. His response to the rumors surrounding his sexuality and his supposed relationship with Diddy has been a mix of frustration and defiance. Meek is adamant. He is not gay, and he wants the world to know that. For him, this isn't just a matter of setting the record straight. It's about reclaiming control over his own narrative. But the way Meek has handled the backlash has raised some eyebrows. Instead of issuing a calm, measured response, Meek went on the offensive, lashing out at those who spread the rumors. In a series of public statements, he made it clear that he would not stand for this kind of attack on his character. His emotions are raw, and he's not afraid to show it. Meek's unfiltered reactions reveal the personal toll these accusations have taken on him. However, his aggressive stance has only fueled the fire. The more Meek denies, the more the public seems to question. What if there's some truth to the rumors? The more he fights back, the more the media scrutinizes him. For Meek, this is a battle not just for his reputation, but for his dignity. He wants to prove that he is not a pawn in a larger scheme of deception. A complex paradox. Meek Mill and the gangster persona. At the heart of Meek Mill's public persona is the image of the tough, no-nonsense gangster rapper. This is the man who came from the streets, who survived the system, and who built his career on his raw, authentic experiences. But as the rumors swirl, this image is being tested in ways Meek may not have anticipated. The very nature of the allegations against him challenges the tough guy persona he's built over the years. This paradox, Meek as a hardened street figure, yet seemingly caught in a scandalous situation, has captivated the public's attention. Many fans find themselves torn between their admiration for Meek's music and his refusal to back down, and their disbelief at the accusations that are being leveled against him. Meek is no longer just the rapper who speaks for the streets. He's a man fighting for his reputation, his privacy, and his place in the industry. Meek's response to the allegations has only added to the complexity of his public image. On the one hand, he is fiercely defending himself and his character, refusing to let anyone define him based on unsubstantiated rumors. On the other hand, his emotional and sometimes erratic reactions raise questions about his state of mind and whether there's more to the story than he's letting on. The pressure of maintaining an image of toughness. One of the recurring themes that has emerged in the wake of the lawsuits and testimonies against Diddy is the complex nature of his public persona versus his private dealings. A large part of his career has been built on the image of a ruthless, no-nonsense businessman, known for his hard-edged demeanor, commanding presence, and successful ventures in fashion, music, and entertainment. However, as some of his past collaborators have come forward, it's becoming clear that behind that larger-than-life persona lies a figure capable of exploiting those in his inner circle. Meek Mill, one of the more prominent figures to speak out, recently shared his own experiences with Diddy, shedding light on the toxic nature of the industry. He spoke at length about how being involved in the entertainment world left him emotionally drained and mentally isolated. Meek admitted that the power structures and pressures within the industry were so intense that at times he felt like a pawn in someone else's game. He described how Diddy, a man who purportedly runs the show, could wield an almost inhuman level of influence over his collaborators and even rivals. Meek Mill revealed that Diddy's ability to maintain a certain image in the public eye was often at odds with the ruthlessness he allegedly showed behind closed doors. Tiffany Redd's harrowing allegation, perhaps one of the most heart-wrenching aspects of the legal drama, involves Tiffany Redd, a talented artist and close friend of Cassie, Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Red's involvement in the unfolding legal saga provides another layer of complexity to the story. In her emotional testimony, Red claimed that Diddy had not only taken advantage of her, but also left her with deep emotional scars. She described being manipulated and exploited by a man she once trusted, recounting instances of fear and intimidation that she still carries with her today. Her testimony is particularly significant because it highlights the toxic environment allegedly cultivated by Diddy, a space where power and intimidation were wielded to control others. What makes Tiffany Red's situation even more chilling is her vulnerability in recounting her fear, both for her own safety and for her future in the industry. In an emotional plea, she explained that she simply wanted to make music and share her talents with the world, but instead found herself subjected to an abusive power dynamic. The fact that her story has resonated with so many others who have been similarly affected speaks volumes about the lengths some people will go to maintain their power within the industry. Red's courage in coming forward is emblematic of a larger pattern of abuse that has plagued many in the entertainment world. Her story adds depth to the mounting evidence against Diddy, shining a light on how those who attempt to rise within this system are often faced with demands that compromise their integrity and sometimes their safety. The dark side of Diddy's reputation: manipulating sexual situations. As these lawsuits have unfolded, disturbing allegations have emerged, suggesting that Diddy used his power and influence to orchestrate manipulative and coercive sexual situations. Several individuals have come forward, including Little Raw, who claims Diddy pressured him into engaging in sexual acts, offering him a Grammy as a reward for compliance. The suggestion that a Grammy, the pinnacle of achievement for any artist, could be used as a bargaining chip to coerce someone into a compromising situation is a chilling one. For many in the music industry, the promise of recognition, fame, and success is the ultimate goal, making the idea of selling one's dignity for such a prize all the more disturbing. Furthermore, these accounts suggest a systemic culture where those in power, like Diddy, allegedly used sex and intimacy as tools to assert dominance over others. According to some testimonies, this involved bringing women into the picture, trying to manipulate men into sexual situations in an effort to break down their defenses. While these allegations are undeniably shocking, they also reveal the disturbing tactics some industry power players allegedly use to maintain control, manipulate, and ultimately silence those who may speak out. The power of influence. Diddy's alleged control over awards and career success. One of the more unnerving aspects of the allegations against Diddy involves his apparent ability to manipulate artists and their careers. The claim that Diddy could promise someone a Grammy for engaging in sexual activity with him highlights just how far-reaching his influence allegedly went. Whether or not he followed through on such promises is unclear, but the mere fact that these accusations exist reveals the extent to which Diddy's power over his peers may have been used to manipulate and control them. Diddy's reported interference with the BET Awards, where he allegedly prevented the show from cutting to commercial, is another example of his dominance within the entertainment industry. These incidents suggest that Diddy was not only in control of his own career, but also had the ability to influence entire events, bending them to his will in ways that could intimidate or coerce others. Whether it was through promising career rewards or holding back essential moments in high-profile events, Diddy's alleged behavior reveals the degree of manipulation he may have exercised over those around him. The reckoning that's long overdue. The increasing number of lawsuits and testimonies against Sean Diddy Combs reveals a deeply ingrained pattern of manipulation, abuse, and coercion that has long festered behind the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. For decades, Diddy has been able to operate with relative impunity, leveraging his power and influence to silence those who sought to expose his behavior. The entertainment world, known for its cutthroat competition and unregulated power structures, has often been a place where the powerful thrive at the expense of the vulnerable, and those who dare speak out face intimidation, retaliation, or worse. Now, however, with these new legal actions emerging and more victims finding the courage to come forward, it seems that the long-anticipated reckoning may finally be on the horizon. The lawsuits and accusations reveal a horrifying cycle of manipulation, control, and abuse, from the exploitation of young artists to the forced involvement in compromising and dangerous situations. These revelations are not just a wake-up call for the industry, but also a pivotal moment for society at large, as the veil is lifted on the shadowy operations that have long run unchecked